Chelsea were really strong tonight. Really, really strong. Now, I get straight away off the bat, people will say, played against 10 men for a large part, training ground game, didn't really learn anything. Loads of goals, great, but we move on to the next. I feel it's more than that. I really feel that Chelsea are starting to cook. I really do. I think it's 5 wins in the last 6 matches. I know you didn't have a great first half in your last Premier League game, but some subtle changes were made. Guy was put up front and 10 times better, smashed it 3-0. You beat Liverpool brilliantly and dramatically. And tonight, yes, the red card comes. And the goal, you score literally from the free kick from the red card. But why did the red card come? It wasn't a punch, it wasn't a kick. It was an Ajax team that were being stretched from very, very early on. You then score another goal. Caicedo shoots. Yes, it's deflected. But again, that deflection happened because Ajax were panicking. They get a goal back, a bit of a mistake from tossing. They score a Weghorst. I didn't know he was there, to be fair. Scores a pen. And then goes and gives away a penalty a few minutes later. Why? Desperation. Chelsea tonight made Ajax desperate. Chelsea tonight did to Ajax what we saw happen to Chelsea at Old Trafford. There was panic. They made some substitutions. They took off a player. I don't know who the player. I don't know many players at Ajax. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't ever profess to know everything about all teams. But the Ajax fans were booing and singing songs about Johnny Heitinger and really having a go at him. Made a mistake, and they were all at sea. The whole team was, and that was a lot of that was Chelsea's doing. Chelsea tonight were just destructive to Ajax. They were maleficent. I really feel it reminds me a little bit of last season, where Chelsea started a little slowly at the beginning of the campaign and started to grow and cook as they went into September, into October, moving into the November period. And I feel we're starting to see that with Chelsea again now. I really, really do. And yes, only 1 goal in the second half, and some people might criticize that. Some people might look at it and say, well, I wanted more. It's not enough. We should be doing X. We should be doing Y. We should be doing Z. We should be killing the game off. And I understand that. But I actually look at it from the other perspective as an outsider. There was no need 4-1 up. There was no need when you scored that 5th goal quite early in the second half. Your players did not need to run themselves into the ground. Your players didn't need to break their back covering every blade of grass. They needed to remain honest. They needed to remain respectful. They needed to remain vigilant and have an air of competency about them. But they didn't need to go for the jugular anymore. It was done. The game was finished. The game was over. Finito. No more. And that for me was more the signs of an experienced team. I was just listening to the commentators and they kept on saying that, Chelsea, they could have gone for the jugular. They were essentially saying a young team, a slightly more experienced team would have done X, would have done Y, would have done Z, would have had more control, would have had more of this. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, look at the stats on my screen right now. What do you mean more control? What do you mean more control? It doesn't matter about who has the ball at every minute. 2 shots in the whole game. One of them was a penalty. The first shot came when it was 11v11. It was dominance on every single level. Could they have scored some more goals? Yes. But they didn't need to. What I thought was grown up, what I thought was mature, what I thought shows that Chelsea are really starting to blend together nicely. They're becoming something that is blossoming nicely, considering the start to the season was a little bit hit and miss, and I predicted you guys to be in the title race, and you all know what I mean by the title race, within real mathematical reach going into the last 10 games, a win or 2 away, and I still think you will be. I don't think you're going to be 10, 11, 12, 15, 20 points behind the leaders. I don't think you will be. You're just kind of finding your feet now. And tonight was just one of those games. And if I wasn't reviewing football matches as a job, if I wasn't so fortunate to have people like yourself subscribing and watching, what I would have done with that Chelsea game when it went 3-1 is turned it off. And that's no disrespect to Chelsea. There are no rivals that watch that second half of your game. No one. Unless they're doing a hate-along, unless they cover football like I do. That's it. There's no reason for anyone else to watch it. And I think that's a sign. I think it's a very good sign. I used to love it. Just go to school or go to work. I did watch United's game yesterday, only the first 20 minutes. Why? He went 2-0 up. I turned it off then. And I know you will do that because it's a very normal thing to do. I don't know about you, unless a rival's playing another big team in the league or in the Champions League, typically we tune in hoping they lose. And as soon as they go 1-0 up, maybe 2-0 up, we often all turn off. And Chelsea did that to millions of people tonight. They went over to the Spurs game, or they probably went, oh, we'll go watch Liverpool. Oh, God, they're 3-1 up. I bet you find, I'd love to see the figures on TNT Sport in the UK. I guarantee you, Liverpool and Chelsea had all the viewers, and then you saw rivals switch off and all go to the Tottenham game. Or, watch Madrid play or Bayern Munich or something along those lines. I don't think people would watch Tottenham. No disrespect, Tottenham, but there we go. But I like what Chelsea did tonight. And I think Chelsea's fans, what I find with Chelsea supporters at the minute is I always know when Chelsea fans genuinely start to believe. I see it on my shows. Well, let me rephrase that. I always know when the Chelsea fans who watch and are part of our community here are starting to believe by the names in my chat, the people that turn up, the people that come and give opinions. I can always tell when Chelsea, and I think there's a couple of more wins, and there's going to be a real excitement around Stamford Bridge. Maybe not people getting carried away. Maybe not people talking shit about other big clubs or big teams or saying they're going to win this and win that. But I just think a few more wins, a few more games with a lot of goals being scored, and I think there'll be a lot of excitement around Stamford Bridge. I really, really do. I don't think there was rightful criticism earlier on in this campaign, but I felt that, and how do I say this in the right way? I felt that, again, people, just like with Liverpool's blip, I think people were just going over the top. I think people were just exaggerating 3, 4, 5 games into the season. And I keep hearing things like, well, you can't be that happy as a Chelsea or Liverpool fan. Man United are only a couple of points behind you. You do know that we've won like 50% of our games. I'm just pointing that out, right? We're bad, and I'm not defending my club because we need to get better. But if we'd have won one more of them, we'd be moving into a percentage of win rates that gets you into Champions League football. So just pointing that out to people, just for the facts. Banter aside. But listen, well done to Chelsea tonight. I said this after the Liverpool game. I felt like that was going to spur you on. You're back. I said after the win at the weekend that I feel like you're cooking. And I mean it. I really do think this Chelsea team is blossoming very, very nicely indeed. So if that answers your question about how I think Chelsea did tonight, I think they did so well that every single rival that was tuning in was switched off at the very latest by half-time. That's it. You made everybody stop watching your club tonight. Every rival stop watching your club. And I think that is something to be proud of. Hit that like button, please, if you haven't done so already, and get yourselves subscribing to the show as well.